Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. And this episode of Random Review features John Brahm's The Undying Monster from 1942. Give a shout out to subscriber Gray1951 for suggesting this. He left a really good, knowledgeable comment on my double take video of Laird Cregar, who starred in John Brahm's The Lodger and Hangover Square, and he suggested that I check out The Undying Monster. This is from 1942 and sadly doesn't star Laird Cregar. It's kind of a riff on, it's a kind of a mix between Hound of the Baskervilles, as far as there's a family curse, and the Wolfman, so it does kind of remind you of those Universal films. This is very low budget, but John Brahm was really good with atmosphere, and I would strongly urge you to pick up The Lodger and Hangover Square, because they are absolutely fantastic films. The Lodger is arguably the best Jack the Ripper film, and Hangover Square is a really enjoyable film about a composer who suffers from homicidal blackouts. John Brahm, it's not too much of a surprise that he knew how to make a really nice shot. He actually came from Germany. He's another one of the immigrants. It's funny that Hollywood of the 30s and 40s and 50s was kind of built by immigrant directors and cinematographers and writers. Just like America was essentially built by immigrants. Hollywood was built by immigrants as well. John Brahm is an interesting director. He made these three really interesting, really beautiful looking films, and then at the end of the studio system he kind of disappeared into television. He directed lots of episodes of The Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, whereas he really should have, it would be interesting to see if he made actually more films. There's a nice, interesting featurette on this Blu-ray. This is a Kino Lorber Region A. It's a really interesting featurette about his career and kind of maybe some of the things that led to him essentially disappearing from theatrical film releases. So, getting back to the actual film, it's only 63 minutes long, but it actually feels longer, but in a good way. Again, it's set in a, not on the moors, but a kind of cliffside old country estate somewhere in England, and there's been an attack by something, so Scotland Yard gets involved, and they kind of send almost a precursor of Fox and Mulder from the X-Files. The lead, or one of the lead characters, and his female cohort, who's almost a kind of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, and they have some of the comic relief, but it's not overtly, out of place comic relief. And then slowly through science and other things, they analyse hair and bits of scarf, and they kind of get the answer of who's responsible or what's responsible for the attacks that have kind of afflicted the family over the years. The film was shot by Lucien Ballard, who is one of the greatest cinematographers of all time. I actually looked up his credits, and there's like over 150 credits. He did a lot of westerns. He did films for Peckinpah, like The Wild Bunch and Ride the High Country, and pretty much worked from the mid to late 30s all the way up to the late 70s or mid 70s, late 70s. And this is a really beautiful film. Yes, the studio sets, there's backdrops, because again it is fairly low budget, but Brahm and Ballard make such great use of light. The sequences on the cliffside at night using lanterns, and the way they're lit, it's quite beautiful. There's also shots where the camera's on the floor and there's low angles. There's shots from the hearth of a fire looking out past the flames to a couple of characters having a conversation, which is a really nice shot as well. So it's amazing for a film that isn't very expensive. It is essentially a B movie. I wouldn't put it in the class of The Lodger and Hangover Square, but it's certainly on par with those Universal monster classics that are viewed as classics now. It's really good fun. Like I said, it's beautifully framed, beautifully shot, and a tremendous amount of fun. So let me know in the comments below if you've seen The Undying Monster, and I would urge you to try and check it out. But like I said, I would certainly put The Lodger and Hangover Square on the essential list, I think, and The Undying Monster just to be a John Brahm completist. So thanks very much for watching, and thanks again for Grey1951 for the comments. Keep the suggestions for films coming, because that's the great thing about doing this channel. There's always one more film to check out, and hopefully we'll see you again. This is Solitude Ronan saying thank you very much for watching, and have a good evening.